Hey y'all, it's Kate from the Literary Apothecary and welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another weekly reading update. Today is Saturday, January 25th and welcome. I'm here to talk about the reading that I finished, the reading that I'm currently working on, and what I'm going to be reading next in this next week up. First, let's start with my short story of the week. That is Phantom Pain by Lucia Berlin. That can be found here in A Manual for Cleaning Women. This short story is about a woman who goes regularly to visit her father in a nursing home, but he doesn't know this because he's got Parkinson's disease and dementia, and he doesn't know her. And there is one quote that I want to read out from this story that really hit me in the gut. The quote says, "The day my father killed off my mother was the day he stopped knowing me," and that just hit me straight in the gut. So Phantom Pain by Lucia Berlin. If you want to be hit in the gut with feelings, then highly recommend that. Next up is a book that I just finished reading right before I sat down to record this. That's The Arc for the Diplomacy of the Knife by C.M. Kaplan. This is supposed to come out in February, I believe. This is book 2 in the Four of Mercies series. And y'all, this book was so good. I haven't gotten my call pile rating for it yet, my 5-star rating yet. But what I can tell you is that this book, for me, read so much better than the first book in this series. The first book, I struggled a lot with our narration and our main character. He felt like he was all over the place for me, and it was really hard for me to follow, even though I enjoyed what was happening. This book is much more calm in the narration. It felt like Kaplan really hit his stride and really found his story here. There was still some meandering, and I wouldn't say, I probably won't give it 5 out of 5 stars, but it'll be a high rating because there's a lot that I enjoyed. It was ridiculous at times. It was funny. It was great. It was even a little bit pulling on my heartstrings. I just really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for everyone to read it next month. And then the last book I have talking about books that I finished is kind of cheating here, but by the time you see this, I will be done reading Drums of Autumn. I am nearly done right now. I believe I'll be finished with this tonight, if not tomorrow, and definitely by the time you see this on Saturday, because this is still a couple days away from when this video goes up. For me, there's more that happens in this book than I thought that happened, so that's a plus. But it still feels like it's one of those books to get us from the last book and into the next book. And it just felt like there was a lot going on here that we didn't really necessarily need that much time spent on. This is one book in the series that I will honestly say I think it did better in the TV show. They handled it better in the TV show than in the book because they cut out a lot of that unnecessary stuff. All of that extra stuff. The things that happened are important, but the amount of time that's spent on it is not as important, and I think the show really did a great job on trimming some of that out. But still one of my favorite series. Can't wait to move on to book 5 and just keep on going with my reread. We just finished watching season 7 in Outlander, and y'all, that last episode of season 7 I cried the entire time. It was so sad, and it was sad tears and happy tears and oh my god tears. We have one more season left, and there's only going to be 8 episodes, and they're going to have to combine books 8 and 9 and 10, which isn't even finished yet, into one short season. I'm very interested to see how they do this. John and I talk about this all the time because I got him addicted to it. And we're both addicted, and we need season 8 now. So yes, I'll be finishing Drums of Autumn probably tonight, if not tomorrow. And I'll have a review for that coming soon also. Now let's talk about my current reads. So books that I am currently still making my way through include Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb. As I've said before, this one I'm getting along with better than I had in the Farseer trilogy. There are some characters that I'm really latching on to now. Althea and Vivacia, I love those 2 characters so much. I love when they're both on the page. Amber, who we've just kind of started getting to know where I'm at in this book, is intriguing to me. I want to see more of her and see where she falls into this story. I'm also making my way through Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Lee and Fonda Lee. I am over halfway through with this book now. Look at those beautiful red pages. I just love them. And I am really, really enjoying this. This is a YA fantasy told in kind of this story, the ways of Bruce Lee's philosophies and his fighting styles and whatnot. And Shannon Lee is his daughter, so that's where that ties in. It's about this young kid who they have this grand tournament every 6 years to determine who's going to be the guardian. And the guardian essentially is the best martial artist in the country and leads all of the other martial artists, and also guards this scroll of heaven that is a very, very important relic in this country. And we're nearing the end of this book, and things are really, really starting to get interesting here, and I can't wait to see how they kind of sum this up. But this has been a really exciting and interesting book, and I loved every page of it so far. Next up, we have The Lotus Eaters. This is by Tatiana Soli. This is the book about essentially Vietnam after the Vietnam War, and at the point where I'm at in this book now, our main character has left her lover. She sent him on a plane to help him escape Vietnam. He was injured defending her, and she is trying to take care of him, but she stayed behind. And now we're getting flashback to where before they first met, but he's in Vietnam. She's not there yet, but there's talks of a woman journalist coming to Vietnam, and so I can't wait to get to that moment where they meet and things start to really happen. Also, this is a book, as I've said before, this is a book that you need to take slow. I am taking it very slow. I've been reading this for a while, and you can see I'm still in the very beginning. This is a book that you take slow and you think about what you're reading as you're reading it instead of afterwards. So then, what am I going to be reading next? Well, once I finish Drums of Autumn, I will be picking up Asunder back up. I got this back from the library. If you remember, I was reading this before and then my library loan came up. There was someone behind me, so I couldn't renew it. Well, I've got it back, and I believe I have to look it up on my Goodreads, but I believe I was near the end of this book when I had to give it up. So this one will probably be done very quickly because this was getting really interesting, really exciting. I was really enjoying this. This is like supernatural, fantasy, horror, mystery, a whole bunch of stuff together in one, and it was just a really interesting mixture of different elements. And then after all that, the next book that I'll be picking up eventually, hopefully within this next week, the last week of January, is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, which is my supporter pick for the week. I spun the wheel and it landed on Sharon, my dear friend Sharon's name. She used to be a patron of mine, and then she passed away untimely, and so I kept her name on my supporter wheel, and every time it lands on her name, I'm going to be reading one of the books that she sent me, because she sent me a whole ton of books, y'all. So The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches is one that Sharon sent me, and it landed on Sharon's name. That's what the wheel spun, and so I can't wait to finally get to dive into this book. So that's all my reading for the week. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite reading moment from the past week? What are you looking forward to reading the most in this next coming week? As always, keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.